Hey everybody. Alright, 1 second here. I've just got to start my other stream. It's late in the day. It's late in the day. It's late in the day. I'm still working right now. I got a little bit to do, but normally I publish these earlier in the day. Today was an extremely busy day. I'm helping a practice through some difficult times with their previous developer, and I wanted to emphasize this because this is not the first time I've helped untangle a very bad mess online for a practice. So every practice has what's called, if they have a website, they have what's called a domain name. A domain name is something like atlantadentist.com, for example. I'm sure that's a website, it's somebody's practice name. But the point is that that's what a domain name is. And if you don't own or don't have access to that domain name, that can be very, very problematic for you. And a lot of times, a practice will get their website set up and get everything set up, but the domain name is registered and set up through another company. So the other company now has basically full control of that domain name, even though you paid for the service, whatever. And so that domain name can be tied into your email accounts. It's definitely tied into your website. And if you ever change your practice name or want to do something else with your practice, mostly in relation to the name of it, if you don't have access to that, you can lose a lot of the value and the weight that you've built over the years through Google. Okay? So, point is, if you haven't already or you don't know, you should make it a point as a priority to make sure that you have ownership and have complete access to your practice domain names. You might have more than one domain name, but usually have one primary domain name that everyone knows and it's on your business cards and everywhere else. So, point is, make sure that you have ownership, and a person that can normally help you with that, if you don't know, is the last person that worked on your website. And if they don't know, there's other ways to find out. And point is, and the other side of this is that if you don't have the ownership of the name, anyway, the point is it can create a lot of problems. So first, check with your developer, your web designer, whoever you have working on your stuff. That's the first thing you should do. Just ask them, who is my domain name registered to, and who owns the name or who has access to that. And if they say it's registered to your name and you have access to it, request the username and password that you can access it, and make sure you keep that in a safe place. If the response is different, something like your domain was registered, we own the name or whatever, something else, then you're going to have to sort that out, with that. But it's a little it can get a little tricky because you have contracts, you have all kinds of other stuff of how it was registered, who set it up, who paid for it initially, all these different things. So there's something called a Whois search, which allows you to essentially find out what company your domain name was registered through. And it also can give you information of who owns the name, who the technical contact is, who the administrative contact is of it, and all this stuff. But just because it has your name on it doesn't necessarily mean you have control of it. So once you have a username and password that you know you can access it and make changes to it, that's the main thing you need to be able to do. But more importantly, you can transfer that. For example, if a developer registered that domain name for you, let's say at any time, right? And it's not necessarily like an evil thing, like it's a technical thing to do sometimes. So a developer will do that as a courtesy, as part of the service, to just get it registered for you. But it might be under their account, okay? So you can request to have that domain name transferred let's say you have an account at GoDaddy, for example, just a regular account there. You can have that domain name transferred to your complete ownership, where you have it under your control and no one else can take it from you. No one can change anything. You can access it whenever you want and all that stuff. So anyway, that's the most recommended thing. I would highly recommend is to get it transferred to you. Make sure it's completely in your name. Make sure you have full access to it. And that will ensure that in the future, anytime if you sell your practice or anything happens down the road where you need to control your email system, you want to change your practice name, you need to set up something custom with your website, whatever it is, you might need access to that, and you should be able to have access to it. And after all, it's your practice name, it's your practice. Why shouldn't it belong to you, right? So, point is, make that a point. I'm sorry, guys, it's been a long day. I'm trying to track here. But anyway, that's my tip for today. So get ownership of your domain name, find out who owns it, find out who has access to it, get usernames and passwords, try to get it transferred to your own personal account. I would be happy to answer any questions on this. Again, you can always send me an email, whatworkswire@gmail.com. You guys already know I've got whatworkswire.com. I've got the free Millennial Marketing Pocket Guide, over 100 tips for modern practice marketing. You can download that for free, no credit card required, no strings attached, and also the tip of the day blog, which is stuff like this. I got all kinds of different tips and articles and different things, mostly videos that you can watch and get some cool tips that should be helpful. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm about to go get some dinner. I am, like I said, it's been a long day. Phone calls all day, sorting out untangling a bunch of stuff. So I just wanted to throw this out there because I don't want anyone else to go through some of the stuff that I have to resolve and help clients with, because they're stressed out about it. I get stressed out about it. It's just, it's painful for everybody. It's no good. And I believe everyone has a right to own their own name. It's their practice name. It's their company. They're paying for it, so they should be able to access it, right? Anyway, guys, have a good night. I should have a tip for you tomorrow. And as promised, I still have a video coming of the last conference I spoke at out in Hood River in Oregon. And it's about an hour long, and I'm still in the process of getting the files transferred over to me. So once I have those, I will piece by piece be publishing it so that everyone can watch that. It's definitely taken a little longer than I thought. I got caught up in a bunch of work stuff and everything, so I haven't been able to follow up and make sure I get the copy of that as fast as I'd like. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm out for tonight. Catch you later.